So let's talk about that ownership. The president said the investors would include Michael Dell, Lachlan Murdoch, whose family owns Fox News, and Larry Ellison, whose son owns Paramount, parent company of CBS News. Do you have concerns that people who are boosters of the president will have ownership of social media in this way?
You know, I think
since it's so powerful.
Well, there are some, I'm sure, investors, not everybody is simply a supporter of the president, but I believe that in this case, Congress has a role for oversight, and we will be meeting with the parties of transaction. We also will have hearings on this, because at the end of the day, we want this controlled by American companies, regardless of what their political affiliation. We don't want it controlled by the Chinese Communist Party.
But Secretary Bessent said he got the Chinese to say yes, and on Thursday, he used the word consummated, that this deal will be signed off between Xi and Trump. So are your hearings just after the fact, or, you know, what effect do you hope they will have?
Well, oversight. Congress has a legitimate role of oversight. We passed a law.
Meaning you assume this deal is done, that this transaction is happening and you're just going to monitor it?
I would assume that if the president comes to an agreement, which he's charged to do under the law, and if that happens on Thursday, then it will move forward. And there may be challenges to that law or the implementation of it, but Congress has a role of oversight to ensure that the law is followed.
The Wall Street Journal reported that Xi Jinping called TikTok, quote, spiritual opium. And he saw this as just like a low-cost bargaining chip for China. Do you think that that's what's happening here? That this is just an easy thing to hand over to
I believe it's a very addictive app. China has made a lot of money because of that, but they've also used it in a way that allows, you know, their information, their propaganda to be propagated. They control the algorithm, and that's why we passed that bipartisan law. So I believe Xi Jinping views this as a strategic asset. That's why he didn't want to sell it to some of the other American companies that were interested in purchasing it. So as long as they're involved, I think we have to recognize that TikTok, even an American version, still could be open to influence from the Chinese Communist Party.
Or whoever owns it.
Whoever owns it.
The algorithm.
The algorithm.